give you just a little taste of the backdrop for why we're here. On July the 1st of this year, West Virginia is going to rejoin the Disabled American Veterans Transportation Network. It is a nationwide network owned and operated by the Disabled American Veterans since 1987. The DAV organization was formed in 1920 to help disabled veterans after World War I. Many veterans at that time were severely wounded upon coming home and had very little help and support in re-entering and reestablishing themselves in their community. Many suffer from blindness, deafness, loss of limbs, and mental illness. The DAV organization themselves helped veterans at that point in time, and that was their mission. They provided food, clothing, made repairs around the veteran's home, made modifications to the bathroom for wheelchairs, and of course transportation. The DAV is an all-volunteer organization, and their services are free to the veterans. They want nothing in return. The act of helping the disabled veteran is the only reward they will accept. It is the core and foundation of the DAV. As they approach their 100th-year anniversary, they can take great pride in their work, sacrifice across this country. Let's give the DAV a hand, please. I would like to recognize the state commander for the DAV, who was gracious enough to be with us here today, Mr. Paul D. Berry. Mr. Berry, will you stand, please? Let's give him a hand. And with him is the state treasurer of the West Virginia DAV, Mr. Dennis Hurley. Mr. Hurley, will you stand? I would like the remaining DAV members who are here today, would you stand? As I indicated to you, the DAV was created some 30 years ago. The DAV is proud of their transportation network. They own it. They are 100% committed to it. I must tell you that West Virginia once belonged to this network. However, about 10 years ago or more, we stepped away and tried to go it alone. Did not work very well. We now understand why. This program works much better as a partnership with the DAV. This past December, we reached out to the national headquarters of DAV to see if we could rejoin this network. Spoke to a gentleman who is the National Director of Volunteer Services for DAV. He is here with us this morning. He offered to come to West Virginia to meet with us. We met in the governor's office in late December. Once we had our discussion about rejoining, and once we agreed to do just that, and before we could get up from the table, the governor's office offered 10 new vans, 4 of which you see here before you today. We're still sitting at the table. And the gentleman from the DAV said, really? Well, I'm going to put another 3 in there. I said, it's pretty good. Let's make an extra and I'll take it home with me. Mr. Kleindis was very generous in giving us those additional 3 vans, to which we're eternally grateful, Mr. Kleindis. So before I introduce the governor, I would like for Mr. Kleindis to come up and say a few words, if he doesn't mind. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Volunteer Services for the Disabled American Veterans from National Headquarters, Mr. John Kleindis. Make him welcome.
Good morning, all. It's a pleasure to be here in the great state of West Virginia. You have some beautiful, beautiful hollers and hills. These 4 vehicles are going to provide countless rides to veterans to and from their medical appointments. It is a great pleasure for us to have donated 3 vehicles in addition to the 10 that have been purchased here. I hope you'll find them useful, safe, and effective rides to get veterans to and from their medical appointments at no charge. And I challenge anyone listening to this or hearing it today to step up and volunteer one day a month and become a volunteer driver for the DAV. This program was started in 1987, and to date we have donated over 3,516 vehicles to VAs all across the country at a cost of more than $80 million. It's a remarkable program, and I call on everyone to consider volunteering one day a month. I know we have some volunteers here today for this presentation. Again, I want to thank you, Mr. Davis, Governor Justice, for your kind hospitality, and I hope that these vehicles can continue to provide free rides. Thank you.
Thank you, John. We're looking forward to our continual relationship with you for many years to come. I really appreciate your participation and your support. Now, Governor, from the day you arrived as our governor, you hit the ground running when it comes to veterans. I can't thank you enough for your tireless support for veterans here in our state. One of the first acts you took was to get a bill passed to exempt the retirement of veterans in West Virginia from state income tax. Let's give them a hand for that. That bill had been stalled in the legislature for many years, but the governor pushed it over the top, and it's now in place. And Governor, I must tell you, I received an email from General Gilliam, who used to be with the National Guard here in the state of West Virginia when you came on board, but he's now at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And he sent me a note, and I just cut to the chase. He said, we are all extremely impressed with what West Virginia has done for veterans with the retirement tax exemption. To date, 6 families, Governor, have bought or are in the process of buying property in West Virginia as a plan for their retirement. Governor, that legislation is, and we thank you so much for that. I'm going to give you this copy of that, sir. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, it's proof. But not only that, Governor, as a result also of your efforts, we were able last year to open 3 new wonderful offices here in the state of West Virginia to serve our veterans. And we really appreciate the support that you have given us in that regard. And now today, we're going to receive 4 new vehicles, that you provided for us here in West Virginia. And we have the remaining 9, I believe, who will be here, I think John said within a week or something like that, so that's great. And we have plans to buy another 15, Governor. So we're going to continue with this until we have veterans, these vehicles all over the state of West Virginia. So Governor, just let me say this, that we as veterans and those who support veterans in West Virginia appreciate all that you have done for us, and we are looking forward to continuing working with you. As before I turn it over to you, I would like to recognize 1 or 2 people. We have Mr. Dave Morgan, who has been a volunteer driver here in Beckley for some time. Mr. Morgan, where are you? Would you like to come up and say a word or 2, please? Let's give him a hand.
On behalf of Volunteer Services and the drivers, we want to thank the DAV for these 4 new vans. We're going to put them to good use. And we always got to remember, we're not transporting veterans, we're transporting America's heroes.
We also have several members of representatives from the congressional districts, and I would like for them to stand as well. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We really do appreciate that. Mr. Wesley Wallace from the Clarksburg Hospital is here with us also. Wesley? Would you like to stand? Without further ado, I would like to ask the governor if he would like to make a few comments before we make the presentation of the keys. Ladies and gentlemen, the governor of the great state of West Virginia, Mr. Jim Justice.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna just sit with you. This, I always, come here, Dennis, come over here. I always like big guys and everything. And this guy, I don't know, we'd been a really good pair on a defensive line, wouldn't we? But I was skinny back a long time ago, so that was scary. But Dennis has done an incredible job. He's a superstar secretary, and we all are really blessed to have him in many, many, many different ways. Let me just say this. First of all, we're represented by senators and delegates and county commissioners and lots of really important people, but none could be more important than the volunteers and all the different people that are associated with helping our veterans. At the end of the day, I say this all the time, but I'll never, ever in my life forget this. I was in Barbersville, a new governor, and I said to the veterans, I said, if you could have anything that you wanted, what would you want? What can I do to help you achieve what you would want? And one of the guys stood up and said, Governor, the only thing we want is to exempt our retirement from state income tax, and that's what we would like you to try to work on. And I said to them, because I didn't know, I said, well, how much would that cost the state of West Virginia? Have you calculated that? Does anybody know? And they had done their homework. And they said, Governor, we think it's between $2.7 and $3.2 million. And I'll never forget my feelings, because my feelings were just this. And they go back to my dad. My dad served as an Air Force captain in World War II. I ask him all the time about his military experience and everything. He would never talk about it. He never would talk. He never would say anything. I have no clue, hardly anything that he did. But I think about my mom's dad. My mom's dad. And think about this. My grandfather in World War I on my dad's side. My mom's dad, at one time saying they had 10 kids. My mom had 9 brothers and sisters. And at one time, 3 of them were in the war at the same time. 3 of them. And the dad had a garden and worked in the mines. They asked him a lot of times, they said, how'd you do it? He said, it's what I had to do. I had to keep my mind completely busy and work all the time because I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't stand it. Now let's think about it. Let's just think. And let's be just as fair as we can be. Here you've got people that have given every single thing in the world to us, and they want nothing. They want almost nothing. Nothing. In the state of West Virginia, are you kidding me? We had been forever and ever and ever and didn't exempt their retirement. Really? Really and truly? You've got people that have given us our way of life in every way we have, and they want something that costs $3 million, And then on top of that, you have the same people that come to you and say, we really need offices that can help our vets in many different ways, and we need them in 3 different areas, and you say, you can't get it done? I'm going to tell every single person here from the very bottom of my heart, these vans, they're lifelines. You know, should we do them? Well, I mean, are you kidding me? Of course we ought to be doing them. But the other thing we ought to do is just this, and we should remember this with all of our souls. We should do anything at any time that they ever ask us to do. They have stood up for us in every single way. We need to always stand up for them. They won't hardly ask anything. You've got to beat it out of them to get them to ask something. But absolutely, whatever they ask, I'm going to try with all in me to do it. I don't care what it is. I don't care what in the world it is. If they say, you know, that they want to go to the planet Mongo, well, I'm going to try to figure a way for them to go to Mongo. You know, but I am telling you with all in me, they are the greatest of the greatest of the greatest, and whatever they ask, we should do. Today's a good day, but today's a day that as your governor, I want to shoot shots across our bow in every way, because many of you are going to leave here and you're going to go to Wendy's, or you're going to hang out, or you're going to go to the soccer game this afternoon, or whatever it may be. How do you think you're able to do all this? What if we just hadn't had them? What if things turned a different way? Could you have had all that? There's no way. There's no way. You know, so I can never thank you enough. You humble me every time I'm around you. You know, you've got an incredible secretary that I love with all my soul. And I know all of you, every one of you are good people. But you know, so often being a good person is just not good enough. It's just plain not good enough. Because you being a good person, you get occupied with all aspects of your life that are going on and forget the people that have been the most important to us in every way. So I mean what I say. You know me well enough to know that I tell you the truth. I'll make mistakes, but I'll never tell you anything but the truth, and I don't have time to be blowing smoke up somebody's behind. I absolutely just speak from the heart. That's what I do. And so I mean it when I say, whatever I can do, whatever in the world I can do, when you call, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And we should all do exactly that. I thank you for everything. Brother Davis, I thank you, sir. God bless all of you.
Okay, now let's have a little fun. We're going to ask the governor if he will stay for just another moment or two so that we can make a presentation. I would like for the Beckley Hospital staff and people to come forward right in front of the podium here, please. And we need at least a driver or any other drivers to come forward as well for a presentation. John Kleindienst, would you join us from the DAV also, right?
Driver, definitely need you.
Right here in front of the podium here. And I'm going to give these keys to the governor, and I'm going to ask Sarah Yost, who was with the hospital. Yes, the commanders of DAV, I'm terribly sorry. I would like for you to come up as well. This is a great occasion.
Y'all can stand here.
Here, you can stand right there.
Now, who am I presenting to?
We're presenting it to this driver over here. Is that okay?
You need to be in the middle then. You need to go switch sides. Okay. Now, you come over here, big guy. Okay, now wait a minute. Let's get this out. Now, we're doing this together.
Okay.
You hold this in that hand. You hold this in, no, hold on to this. We're doing it together.
Okay.
Okay? Because I'm so proud of all of you. What a pleasure for me just to be hanging on a little bit. God bless. Thank you, man. Do good work. I know y'all will. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you. John, Kleindienst, thank you once again. And Governor, as always, you've always been our supporter, and we thank you very much for all that you do for us. And we're looking forward to this relationship with the disabled American veterans. I consider them my friends, from John Kleindienst from the national headquarters, all the way down to Bill Evans. Where's Bill? He didn't even come up to stand. He's DAV, so he's always being different. But this is a great opportunity for us, and as the governor said, he's going to continue to support us in this mission until we have all new DAV vans traveling the state of West Virginia, bringing our veterans in to this hospital. I want to commend the Beckley staff who are here with us today. This, Governor, is an excellent veterans hospital here. It has an excellent reputation. They do a wonderful job for our veterans in this community, and I want to commend each and every one of them for the work that they do. So with that, I will conclude the presentation and thank each and every one of you for coming. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless West Virginia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank all of you.